Hi there, in this video you will learn how to solve a system of linear equations by graphing. So we're going to first start by talking about these notes right here. The solution to a system is a point xy that works in all equations of the system. So one way to solve a system of equations is to graph the lines and find the point of intersection. Since that point is on both lines, that point will work in both equations. So if you look at this example over here, I want to know what the solution to that system is. So we're going to look for the point of intersection. So it's right here. Now it's kind of tough to see what exact point that is, but if you look at the scale, the x value is definitely 4, and the y value seems to be about 5. So I'm going to say that the solution is the point 4, 5. The next thing I'm going to do is show that show that that point works in both equations. So remember, the x value is 4 and the y value is 5, so I'm going to plug it in to the equations. So we would have here 5 is equal to 4 plus 1. So obviously 5 equals 5 is correct. In the second one, I am going to plug in y equals 3x minus 7. So I will have 5 equals 3 times 4 minus 7. So that's 5 is equal to 12 minus 7. 12 minus 7 is 5. So that works in that one. That's what we worked on in our last learning target. Is this point a solution to the system? And the answer is yes, because it works in both equations. Now, in example 2, it's our turn to graph both lines and find the point of intersection. So the first line I'm going to graph in red. Y equals 2x is a proportional relationship, so I know it goes through the origin. And my slope is 2 over 1. So that means I'm going to rise 2 and run 1. Rise 2, run 1. I could also go down 2 and left 1. So notice that I'm covering the entire grid. And now I'm going to draw my line. And you would use a straight edge to connect the points there. Now I'm ready to graph the second line. So my y-intercept is 4. So I'm going to start at 4 on the y-axis. And then my slope is negative 6 over 1, which means I'm going to go down 6 and right 1. Now if I try to go down 6 and right 1 again, I will be off the grid. So I'm going to use a straight edge to connect those points. This one is also a little bit hard to decide what the exact point is. I'm going to put my point of intersection right there, and I'm going to guess that the point is x is 1/2 and y is 1. And then I'm going to do some math to check that. So in my red equation, which was y equals 2x, my x value is 1/2 and my y value is 1. So I'm going to have 1 equals 2 times 1/2, and 2 times 1/2 is 1. So that works. Now if I check it in the blue line, y equals negative 6x plus 4, I would plug my y in as 1, and I will plug my x in as 1/2, and I'm going to see what that equals. So we have 1 over on the left, and then we have negative 3 plus 4 on the right. So negative 3 plus 4 is 1. So it works, which means my solution was, in fact, 1/2 1. In this next example, I would like for you to change the original problem. I would like the bottom one, so let's cross that off. I would like the bottom equation to be y equals negative x minus 3. That will work much more cleanly on this example. So let's say that the top line is my red line. So I know that my y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to graph where y is 1. And then my slope, my rise over run, is 3 over 1. So I'm going to rise 3 and run 1. And I'm also going to go down 3 and left 1, down 3 and left 1. And then I'm going to connect my points with a straight edge. Now I'm going to do the other line in blue. So my y-intercept is negative 3. And my slope is negative 1 over 1. So I have down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Or I could also go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. So I have these points here, and I'm going to go ahead and connect the dots with a straight edge. So now I'm going to look for the point of intersection, and I can see it right here. And that has the x value of negative 1 and the y value of negative 2. Just to save some time for the video, I'm not going to check my answers, but you should always check your answers, especially on a test. And this last example on our notes is a word problem. So we are going to have to write out the system. And the first thing that we have to do is called defining the variables. And when I say let x equal something and let y equal something, that means we are defining the variables. To define the variables, we always are going to look for the questions being asked. So notice here I highlighted how many tickets. So that's the variable I'm looking for. So to define my variable, I'm going to let x equal the number of tickets. And what is the other variable? So I continue to read, you must you buy for the cost to be the same. So I'm going to highlight the word cost. Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to highlight the word cost. So that is my second variable. Y is the cost. Now we go back to read the question. Tickets for a concert cost $10 each if you order them online, but you must pay a service charge of $8 per order. So assuming that you only order once, the 8 would be the constant, or the initial value, and the $10 each is the slope, the key word being each. So my cost, y, is going to equal $10 for every ticket x plus $8 to order online. My other equation is the second sentence. The tickets are $12 each, so my slope is 12 if you buy them at the door. So therefore there is no extra charge. So my second equation is y equals 12x. And now I'm ready to graph those equations. The first equation has a y-intercept of 8. So I'm going to put my y-intercept at 8. And then my slope is up 10 over 1. So I have it there, and there, and there. And I continue that pattern up 10 over 1. So that's the cost of tickets if I order them online. My other equation is y equals 12x. So my y-intercept is 0. And then I'm going to go up 12 and over 1. And I continue that pattern. Up 12 and over 1. Up 12 and over 1. And you noticed that at that point right there, that's where the blue and the red overlap. So therefore, my answer, when the cost is going to be the same, is at that point. On that point, it is the x value of 4, and the y value is 48. So remember, x was the number of tickets. So if I buy 4 tickets, the cost will be the same, being $48. We will be practicing more word problems together in groups later on, but for now, you just have to be able to graph 2 lines and find the point of intersection. So I would like for you to do pages 6 and 7 in your math packet at this point.